Well, that's not good. Okay, well. So there's Goosebumps covers, but there's now cords running up the truss. Art the Clown's having some legal drama right now. They did get the Ghostbusters drawstring bag in here. So the Amity police vehicle. Okay guys, we're back at Universal Studios Florida. It's time for another Halloween Horror Nights 2026 update. We got some new lights. We have drama with Art the Clown. We got Murdy tweets. So on that note, it's time to talk about the Halloween Horror Nights Sure of the Day. We're gonna go back to HHN 1995. We got the 5 right there. And then it says Halloween Horror Nights. On the hat it says Universal Studios Florida, Halloween Horror Nights 5. Then on the back it says Scream Your Head Off. So on that note, let's roll the commercial.
Hello, kiddies. Crypt Keeper here, master of ceremonies at Universal Studios. All new Halloween Horror Nights. With new haunted houses to die for, you'll make some new fiends, play a starring role in a killer show, and lots more.
Don't miss the last 2 weekends of terror. Florida residents save. Advance tickets just $22 at Ticketmaster with a 2-liter Pepsi label.
Party with me at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights. You'll dig it.
Okay, welcome back. Let's head in. Someone tweeted out a rumor about Horror Unleashed coming to Orlando. So ParkMind tweeted out this: a rumor for the plot of land being developed near iDrive and Epic Universe is a second City Walk anchored by Horror Unleashed. If this does come to fruition, I wonder if Universal will make Horror Unleashed more of a destination by including a roller coaster over the water. We got Horror Unleashed Vegas, and there's Horror Unleashed Chicago, and then there's some other places that are heavily rumored where Horror Unleashed is supposed to be appearing. I've not heard anything about Orlando, but that would make sense because it would, I feel like, be more successful here than any of the other places they have planned. I think this would be best case scenario. I think Orlando's a better bet. If they're gonna build more, Orlando, because at least you have the hardcore HHN crowd, you would have the seasonal festivities, people would be coming in for that. I feel like that would be best case scenario, because I think Vegas is just kind of screwed by what's going on with Area 15. But we are supposed to have the new summertime thing happening like this week. Apparently it's happening this week. They still have yet to announce anything. It's just typical Universal fashion with their marketing. Hopefully they announce it soon and we'll go over it later this week, but it's rumored to be happening this weekend at Horror Unleashed. You know, we gotta pop into the Brown Derby real quick. Oh, they did get these like Yoshi eggs at Hatch. These things are super expensive, but the boxes are just kind of beat up. So if you don't care about the box, they got the eggs here, 70% off. They did get the Ghostbusters drawstring bag in here. Here's the little kid I Ain't Afraid of No Ghost shirt. Comparing the images, I don't see any new lights yet. Let's pop into 5 and Dime. So they have so much Sinners merch, they've now moved it over here, or they're getting ready for something new to pop up this week, hopefully. But they've added all the Sinners merch over to this little display, and then the Dr. Oddfellow merch right there. So it's all still in here. So we should be getting an announcement hopefully soon. You know, when it comes to IPs, there's always legal stuff behind the scenes. Speaking about legal drama, Art the Clown's having some legal drama right now. Terrifier franchise hit with lawsuit over Art the Clown's ownership and film rights. Ruthless Studios has filed a federal lawsuit alleging it owns key rights to the franchise. So this is the original studio that did the short with Art the Clown before the Terrifier series. A lot of legal mumbo jumbo going on, but this could affect the future of Art the Clown, popping up at stuff, and merchandising of Art the Clown. So this could be a giant cluster for Terrifier and Art the Clown. So Damien, the creator and director of Terrifier, tweeted out this: the wait is over. For years, this has been the most requested collab, and we're thrilled to finally make it a reality for you guys. Terrifier is coming to Dead by Daylight. Jason Universe tweeted out this: met up with a certain clown. It was also announced that Jason is going to be coming to Dead by Daylight, the video game. Then we have an update about another classic horror icon. So Horror FX legend Greg Nicotero joins forces with the unmistakable John Kasser to bring a new Crypt Keeper puppet to life. The entirety of Tales from the Crypt is streaming now on Shudder. The old Backlot Club Tower is gone, and we got the new one right here. So let's check in. Earn some XP. We got an update on the Odyssey photo op. Why did they angle it like this? The wall has been taken down. You can see the horse coming out of like fake sand. But if you're gonna stand here or take a photo with it, you're just looking at the horse's backside. No. This should be like flipped the other way. I guess you could like come over here to where the fence is and stand right there. Is this the image that Universal wanted? Now the truss here looks about the same. I think the only new thing, they've connected cords to the lights up there, running down the truss, and you can see it kind of hidden behind there, but they're just chilling there. They've not been plugged in yet, but there's now cords running up the truss. And I'm not seeing anything new with the lights over here on the truss. Now on the truss, we can see the lights right there and lights right there, kind of angled to this spot right here. So we'll probably have a set piece right here by the trash can. And then these lights are kind of angled to right there. So we'll probably have a set piece right over there also. Then right here, these lights are kind of angled right here. So we might have a set piece right there. But not too much happening in this scare zone today. All right, so we got lights on this truss. These have appeared. These were not there the other day. So we got 3 on this side, 2 on that side. Those 2 up there are kind of angled, again, right there. This one's just shining off right over there. So probably just doing like a mood lighting over there, unless there's a set piece that they put out in the grass area right there. But so this has been added, and then also cords have been connected to these lights and truss. So you can see the cord going all the way down the truss right here, and then they just have it chilling in there, not plugged in yet. And then nothing new with the stage. This, we saw the cords plugged into those lights the other day. But on this truss, we do have the cords all plugged in. Again, you can see the wire running all the way down the truss and then just waiting to be plugged in and electrified. So it's slowly coming along. And then right before you come into Springfield, you got some new lights on the truss right there. And then again, the cords are running through the entire truss, just waiting to be plugged in. Now, one of the reasons I love Halloween Horror Nights so much is it's this like immersive theatrical experience. There's so much artistry that goes into it at so many different levels. We're in Springfield, you know what that means. We gotta go check on Truckgate. Now, last time there was no movement, so I don't know if they'd finished what they needed to do for the house. They've moved on to something else. Good news, it looks like they're back working on the houses. They're going in and going out, and they're working on stuff. Nothing happening outside. They haven't built the fence yet. Once that fence pops up, we're not gonna get much of a view, but they are back working on the house back here. They did have the other backlot tower here, but it's been removed. So all the big towers are now officially gone, and they've switched to the smaller versions. Thank God for the misters. Nice and cool. You know who else is cool? Murdy in Ireland. He's not sweating. There's John Murdy right there. John! Baking cookies with my 11-year-old daughter while listening to Olivia Rodrigo's new album. She's campaigning hard for Olivia to have a house at HHN so she can meet her. She has a song called Vampire. What more do you need? It's hard to argue with that logic. Hashtag girl dad. John, what's the easiest work on HHN? Doing interviews. So Albert tweeted out this: John, when HHN uses shared IPs on both coasts, is there a collaboration between Hollywood and Orlando creatives? Do you actively share ideas and design approaches? Or is there an effort to make each version feel distinct and uniquely tailored to its event? John says, I love Mike's face in that pic. I remember shooting that, but I can't remember seeing the final video. We get together early and try to align on an overall approach. The houses tend to have cool differences coast to coast, which I think is cool. Not seeing any action on the old Fear Factor stage. Nothing's moved or changed, but we do have an update about a new show coming to Universal. Let's go over that real quick. So Universal's Celestial Goodnight is a new nighttime spectacular debuting on July 7th at Epic Universe. The show transforms all of Celestial Park with nearly 600 synchronized light fixtures, over 350 fountains, and 7 million LED lights, all choreographed to a high-energy musical score and culminating in a spectacular firework finale celebrating the worlds of Epic Universe. Look, when you look over here, you see the Fast and Furious spike perfectly popping out from behind the trees over there. So I don't think I've ever noticed this before, but on each one of these buildings, there's a bar that's set up. So it looks like maybe you might get some lights attached to that, because there's a set of bars right there. And then you come over here, a bar right there. So it makes sense. Right, it's like the same distance from each other to have lights set up on those bars. It's my first time ever noticing those.
This is new. So the Amity police vehicle, the siren lights are now on. So they're moving and spinning. You look right there. So that's what that cord was when we found it kind of running underneath the vehicle. It was plugged in to run the lights. Am I going crazy, or is this the first piece of wood on a facade for the outside tent for the house? Okay, so the truss over here is very intriguing. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 lights that are all wired up now, but they're all pointing the exact same way in the exact same direction to the building right there. So what if we're gonna have more than just like an HHN 35 logo, but they're gonna have different lights all over the buildings, because it's all pointing right there. And then we got 2 lights on this side pointing to right there. So everything is all corded up. There's so many wires running down, kind of just waiting to be plugged in right there. So all those lights have appeared. I'm very intrigued to where all 5 of those are going to be pointed. Now all of these lights seem to be done in this area. We'll see if there's anything new kind of over in the alleyway. So we got 2 lights right there kind of shining down at this area.
Okay guys, I want to talk about one of the most underappreciated artists on the planet. You guys have seen his work, but you have no idea who he actually is. You see this photo right there? Who is this guy? So back in 1992, there was a little book that came out called Goosebumps. Goosebumps became a massive mega hit. I believe in 2015, they crossed the 400 million books that were sold, which is insane. That is a large part of the population that has read or seen a Goosebumps book. The entire United States population isn't even 400 million. So in this photo, you know who this is. This is R.L. Stine, the author of Goosebumps. But who's this guy to the right? This is Tim Jacobus. Tim Jacobus was the artist behind all the book covers. A artist is lucky to have one piece of art that is kind of appreciated and remembered by the general public, but Tim Jacobus has like hundreds of his pieces of art that are burned into everybody's retina, that if you show anybody that image, they're gonna know exactly what it is. When it comes to art and good art is something that sticks with you, something that gives you an emotion and sticks with you, sometimes for your entire life. And the art that Tim Jacobus made on those book covers stuck with everybody. If you grew up in the 90s, you know exactly what a Goosebumps cover looks like. Now, I didn't read the books. I have like terrible dyslexia. Reading is not fun for me, but I did collect the books only because of the art. The artwork meant a lot to me when I was like looking at it. I was like, oh my God, this stuff is so cool. Then the TV show came out. I love the TV show, but the only reason I got those books was because the artwork stuck with me. So those Goosebumps covers were kind of my first introduction into horror. I really owe a lot to the Goosebumps artwork and Markov's Haunted Forest. Without those 2 things kind of growing up, I would not be doing like what I'm doing now, covering haunts and all things spooky. So you'll see Tim Jacobus pop up at conventions across the country. I want to make this video to kind of like show you who he actually is, because you know his artwork, you just don't know who he is. When Tim was at MegaCon, I wanted to ask him a couple questions.
All right, the man, the myth, the legend, Tim. So I got 4 quick questions for you. What was your career, I guess, before you got to the Goosebumps covers and artwork? What's your backstory?
So I went to art school and I knew I wanted to be an artist. So I purposely took jobs that were totally not art related so that I would be motivated when I got home to work on my portfolio. So I worked as a laborer on a construction site. I was a garbage man for a short period of time. Anything that was very physical, and then I'd come home and I'd be like, yeah, not that those are bad jobs, but I don't want to do them for a living. I got to sit down and work on my portfolio. So yeah, that was my game for a lot of years, because it doesn't just happen overnight. I got out of art school and it took 3 years from the time I got out of art school before I got 1 book cover. And that's great, but you can't live off of 1 book cover. They got to be coming in consistently. So it took years to get the ball rolling and go, hey, I'm actually making this happen.
So when you started, I guess, making the book covers, there was like a book every month. How did that work for you?
Great for me, hard on R.L. Stine. You know, making a painting, it takes time, but so sketches and then doing the final art, you're looking at a week. You know, start on Monday, hurry up, do the sketches, get them approved, and then another 30 hours, 24, 30 hours to finish. And so I could do 1 a week. That's a little insane, 1 a week, but we were doing 1 a month. So But it was cool because everything was lockstep, where it's got to be done on this date because it's got to get photographed, and then it's got to be printed, then it's got to be on the truck, and so everybody was very much, that was the number one thing. What time is it? The beauty of that from the artistic point of view, if there's time, people will mess with your art because they have time to mess with your art. No time, I turn it in, they go, yeah, okay, start the next one, start the next one. So
that's great. So I guess during all the success, when did you realize you're going to be such an important and cultural impact, right? What was the moment that you realized that, like, I did something special?
What time is it now? I knew that it was a popular series. It took a while because, again, no social media back then. And it was one of those things where I went to a friend's house and all the kids are carrying the Goosebumps books around. I'm going, wow, that's pretty wild. But this whole nostalgia, this all came way late. It's only been in the past few years where people come up and you talk and you go, holy smokes, because nobody comes up and talks about it ironically or like, there's great passion behind everybody's stories, and it's very cool.
All right, the last question is, what's your favorite Goosebumps monster that you helped create?
I always lean towards the egg monster from Mars. A lot of the themes to the stories were things we've all been exposed to. You know what a scarecrow is, you know what a werewolf is. Like, we all have a preconceived notion, but an egg monster from Mars, nobody knows what that one is, so I get to conjure it out of the blue, and you can't tell me I'm wrong.
Sometimes when you're making art, you don't realize the impact that you're having on the entire world. Because of Tim's artwork being so famous, he really kind of changed the course of the 90s with the art and horror aesthetic. You look at the original Halloween Horror Nights kind of designs, you had like the Universal Monsters and then the chainsaw being chopped up. But then when Goosebumps books really started to become famous, the art design changed for Halloween Horror Nights. Look at these Goosebumps books. Now let's remove a couple of the covers and then put in a couple of the famous imagery from Halloween Horror Nights from the 90s. They look straight like a Goosebumps cover. Not only did Tim's artwork inspire me, right, to fall in love with horror, but it also inspired the art design for Halloween Horror Nights and inspired millions upon millions upon millions of people to fall in love with horror and fall in love with reading. That little bit of artwork that he did inspired a generation or generations. People still know and love Goosebumps with a burning passion. But it all started with Tim Jacobus. He's so integral to the haunt community and to the horror scene. So Tim, thank you so much for your work. So like when it comes to Halloween Horror Nights, again, there's thousands of artists at many different levels. You have culinary art, you have performance art, you have, design art. That art that people are making for HHN is inspiring millions. Millions of people are coming to Halloween Horror Nights, and then they're getting inspiration to go back to their haunt or to be inspired to make their own artwork. If you're an artist, keep making art. AI. That is literally just copying and stealing the soul of art. If you're an artist in anything, just keep making, keep creating, keep building, and don't let the f***ing computers win.
Come on, let me see you shake and tell, brother. Come on, let me see you shake and tell, brother. Oh, twist it. Come on and shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, baby.
The construction wall just keeps going and going and going. Are we gonna be able to see Boris's office?
Well, that's not good. Okay, well, this is where the Backlight Club Tower was, and they were doing the Easter eggs inside Madame Basil's window. It's kind of hard to see that, and it's really hard to see inside Boris's office now.
Because they're like building up whatever the Easter egg was gonna be with Boris, but the construction walls block you from seeing inside each of the windows.
The Backlot Club map got updated, so we see the horror makeup one over there. Looks like each tower's on each side of the mummy. So it's no longer Madame Basil's window, because that's where the construction wall is now. The Backlot Club map said it's somewhere over here in these windows. All right, so over here, next to the arcade, inside the window, this is where the next Backlot Club tower is gonna be. This is just insane to see this massive construction wall around Finnegan's. You're 10 XP away from hitting level 36. Let's go see what's going on with the fast coaster from this angle.
All right, the crane is blocking a lot of the view, but they're still working on the siding of the building, and they've moved a bunch of the dirt that was right there.
Inside the main gift shop, they have some of the Epic Universe stuff. $35, it's a holiday ornament. Then they have the Spirit jersey, also from the anniversary. They now have the 1-year anniversary vinyl for Dark Universe. They just add kind of a gold accent around it, and they changed the color of the vinyl. Then the 1-year anniversary metallic Captain Cacao has arrived in the park also. Seeing Homer's face just kind of reminds me of the fountain from Islands of Adventure. BioReconstruct got an update about the fountain.
So BioReconstruct posted some photos. We can see the Mystic Fountain. The face has been removed. They removed it. So hopefully they're reusing that for an Easter egg or adding it to Epic Universe. I'm glad they're saving it. But there's also some more demolition photos of the Sinbad Theater at Islands of Adventure. It's gone. Like, they have demolished it all. It is crazy how quick they're working on everything.
All right, we're heading to City Walk now. It does look like they've started to put the advertisements back up, because remember they were painting last week, so now the advertisements are starting to reappear.
Family coaster update.
So we saw this track installed last week, but we have a new track piece. Look over here. We got a turn. It's turning right there. That's the new track piece that just got installed. We still have not seen the top of the spike yet. Hopefully this week, but we have another piece that was installed right there for the family coaster. There's a new little cart here. They have a bowl or a cone, some different toppings. You can add nerds on top of it. Oh, it's acai, so it's like soft serve acai, I guess. We'll try that later this week. All right, it does look like there's gonna be a new Universal City Walk music series. Every couple days they're gonna have a new performance. Women in music, Broadway music night, rock night, boy band night, throwback night, Latin night, EDM night, Motown night, and country music night. So some different musical offerings happening. Let's see if anything has changed inside the Legacy store. It looks about the same. Untouched mystery boxes. They did bring in the DeLorean Lego set in here. $27 we did get. A new Jaws headband. It kind of has a metallic finish on it. A glitter mouth.
Kind of a slower Halloween Horror Nights update day. During this part of the season, I kind of go every other day. When we get closer to, you know, opening, then there's stuff happening every day. But right now, I'm just kind of going every other day for the updates.
Dang, Universal really just tore down all the Disclosure Day stuff so quick here. Let's see if there's anything new with the Whopper bar construction. Oh, it's all walled off now. Yeah, so they're working on Five Guys right now. Still get Timos and Panda. But yeah, construction's happening finally.
We're taking the elevator down. On that note, let's go back to the office, back to the AC, and we got some more stuff to talk about. Okay guys, we're back in the office. So Midsummer Scream just had a little spooky HHN announcement. Universal returns to Midsummer Scream this August 7th through 9th with the largest presence to date. Get ready for exclusive experiences and offerings inspired by Horror Nights, Horror Unleashed, and classic Universal Horror, and so much more all together for the first time. So again, we will be there documenting the panel for you and the booths and all that stuff, so don't worry. If you're not there, I got you covered. But we have a lot of HHN updates upcoming. It was kind of a slower start to the week, not too much changes, so hopefully for our next HHN update, there's some bigger news to talk about. So on that note, if you enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and join the family.
I love the family.
Because I'm gonna keep you up to date on all things Universal Studios and Halloween Horror Nights. I love you all. I'll see y'all very soon.
Now if you see this and it puts a bad taste in your mouth, don't worry. You can go to the Schwab's Pharmacy, get some Booterade?